Hello and welcome to the St Kilda and Bayside Report. It is August 2018. My name's Gary Pearce.
I'm Jeremy Rosens. It's absolutely August, Gary.
Only just.
Yeah, well, I've got to tell you, this week has been a pretty cold week in Melbourne.
Oh, but we've had some sunshine. Could have been worse.
You know, Gary, sunshine's not what it used to be.
It's not,
It's so cold. I mean, it's nice and light behind us,
Yep.
but don't be fooled, Gary. There's about 13 engines in here blowing through some heat to get me warmed
I copped
up.
a good dose of reality on Sunday because if you remember, Sunday was actually quite a nice day. And my wife said, let's walk the dog. I said, let's do it in the sun. Oh, no, let's do it after dinner. So we walked after dinner. The dog got absolutely drenched, the furthest away from home, no umbrella. That's Melbourne for you, isn't it?
No umbrella.
Always something happening. No. Well, I thought
You've
it'd
got
be
your own name
I
on
know,
your umbrellas, Gary.
I know where to find it. I just didn't use it. Shall we talk a bit about real estate? What's going on out there in the market? Because we're now in a very interesting time. It is the quarter, I would call it trade season this quarter. September, October, November. It's trade season. It's the busiest time of the year. Are there any 3 months where there's more property sold than this next 3 months?
Ahead of us?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought so, Gary.
That's what we're talking about.
This is almost like the pre-season before the storm.
This is. Well, that's right. It's only days before it because already this weekend even, 1st of September, we've already got almost 20 auctions. So we are launching with
Good
a
to
very
see some
nice
volume
selection.
back in the market,
It
Gary.
is good. It's been really frustrating for I think for buyers and for agents. Very frustrating because vendors just aren't going to let go. And I think, some of those vendors know the prices have settled. They've stopped going up. So there's a little bit less excitement to go on the market. So thus, less opportunities, less volume.
Yes, Gary, that is true.
Yeah.
My thoughts are that I think that I saw a bit of a resurgence in the market. I mean, I'm certainly not calling the market into the boom.
It's not red hot.
It's not red hot, but what I'm finding now,
it's not
Gary,
stone cold either.
It's not stone cold.
Yeah.
There are people coming back. There's a bit more depth of a number of auctions that I've done of late. There's been that depth of bidders, which I haven't seen for a few months prior to that.
Correct.
So, where there's depth of 1 or 2 or 3 bidders and some results on A-grade properties that are far exceeding reserves, but it still is a patchy, unreadable, unusual market.
It is a bit unusual, but look, it's
lots of opportunities though.
I reckon if you're a buyer, I'd call it a bit of a lull. I reckon it's a great time to jump in. If you're looking to buy, don't wait till everything takes off again because it does take off. It will take off.
Because it is a lull, Gary.
It
is just a snapshot in time.
Take advantage of the lull. I reckon in 2 or 3 years, we can look back to this edition, note it, bag it, tag it, and 2 or 3 years we'll say, do you remember in August 2018 when we called it as being a bit of a lull and we said, well, the properties, look at what they're worth now. I think that'll be what you'll see in future editions. Anyway,
no lulls with us, Gary.
No lulls. We've got plenty going on.
We're
that's
upbeat
for sure.
and excited.
We sure are. Very excited and good reason to be, Jeremy.
Absolutely.
Handling some of the best real estate in Australia.
Yes.
Although we were knocked off by Vienna in terms of the best, most livable city.
Listen, Gary, they do a good schnitzel.
They do. Well, I should know.
But that's about it. Because Melbourne's still...
so
we won't go into that, Gary.
Yeah, fair enough.
And good of you to put the suit on over your yodeling costume.
Yes.
Is that where they yodel over there?
Well, they do
Or do they do it?
it's called, what's it called? It's called the Lederhosen. That's
Lederhosen,
right. Yes, there wasn't a lot of Lederhosen in the Peer household.
I reckon there'd be a picture of you as a wee young lad, definitely in leather Lederhosen.
There may
I
just
bet
well
you
be.
wish you had them
Well,
now.
you had to make sure you always oiled the Lederhosen because it was nothing worse than when you walked with squeaky Lederhosen around Europe and around the home. Jeremy, let's talk about some of the properties.
Less about Lederhosen, more about homes, Gary.
Let's talk a bit about what's going on. I think the viewers, both of those viewers that are watching at the moment, want to know.
And a shout out to Mum as well.
Exactly right. We just want to share with you some of the results that we talked about that were upcoming last episode that have now passed.
Well, Gary, I'm a bit upset because there were 2 really good sales in East St Kilda, what I would call trophy properties, marquee properties for our agency.
Hey, there were some big ones, weren't
that I can't talk about the eventual selling price.
Would that have been Vadler Avenue?
It was number 12 Vadler, Gary, which was funnily enough, a competitive auction. So it begs belief that we can't talk about it, but we will still abide by our clients'
instructions.
Yes, correct.
For discretion and privacy.
Although we were quoting 2,500,000 to 2,750,000, and I think it's fair to say that bidding
was at the upper
went
level
beyond
and not at the bottom level.
Correct.
We can say that, Jeremy. But that was a great result. The other one that was great would have been the other Springfield Avenue. Was that right? Yeah.
Funny story about
trophy
Springfield because we filmed there last time. I'm not sure whether we spoke about it last time. But I was sitting at our information evening, Gary, and I had a chat with the vendor there.
Our vendor information evening. Tune into that if you want to know more.
Yes, please call, because we can divulge a hell of a lot of information about that. It's a great
big
event.
Night.
Big event.
Big night.
The owner actually found me amongst a sea of people.
Yep.
Came and had a chat with me, introduced herself, and then proceeded to tell me that she was the night nurse for the one night we got a nurse at our house for our son Ryder, because we were kicked out of hospital very early. Not for anything that we did wrong, just that he was prem and we had to get him out of the hospital. And she was our night nurse. So she's responsible for teaching me how to, hold Ryder and pat his back, pat his backside and get him to sleep.
So she was in your home
and still
prepared to do business with us.
That's correct. That's correct.
She would have seen all of your sordid life revealed.
I get the feeling she didn't know when she was coming on board that I was part of the team. But a lovely lady and a great result for her family as well.
Indeed, and two great prestige sales, probably the two best sales in Eastern Kilda this year.
Can't talk about that result, Gary, but 262 at it again. Sold above that figure.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're both talking high twos for both those properties.
Yes.
And that's getting up there.
Well worth it.
Let's talk about some of the other sales that have happened.
189 Hotham Street, Gary.
That was a beauty.
That was a good result there. $717,000 sold there. 3-bed, 1-bath, 2-car.
Yeah.
In a beautiful part of Melbourne in Hotham Street.
Sure is. An extraordinary apartment. It just goes to show anything that is that little bit more different and special does still go off. It was a competitive auction. I was lucky enough to conduct that auction. And congratulations to Sally, who was involved with the sale and the buyer and seller alike.
I think those three results, Gary, tell us a bit of a tale of the marketplace. That if you've got something outstanding and A-grade, it's going to go well. And I think also that apartment, small townhouse market in that $5 to $1 million price bracket is actually getting a lot of momentum and it's encouraging to see some of those results. Speaking of beautiful parts of Melbourne, Gary, we toddled off down to Ashwood, which we're not familiar with. Ashwood? A lot of sales in Ashwood.
Come on, we're the Ashwood specialists.
Well, we are now. We certainly are now, because we got in our car and drove down. We actually sold it before auction, Gary, because we had a couple of buyers negotiating with us, and we decided to sell it before because we had a really outstanding number.
Sometimes it comes to the boil earlier than we expected. We'd all like it to be at auction, but a good agent will recognise...
I had a packed lunch, Gary. I was ready to go.
A good agent will recognise when the time is right beforehand. But, you didn't need to put your passport back on the shelf. You didn't need it.
Don't talk to me about passports, Gary. It's still a sore point for me.
The show on the road can be in any area if you've got the tools and the resources, which we
do. And we understand about people and places and prices. $940,000 for a beautiful parcel of land in Ashwood, Gary.
Congratulations.
That's a little bit of a taste of some of the sales that have happened, Gary. But you did touch on the next 3 months is,
it's a smorgasbord of offerings.
It's the final series of real estate.
This is it. This is when it all happens. It's an exciting time.
So there's a lot to talk about.
Yep.
There is a lot to talk about, and none more so than 63 Balaclava Road, Gary.
Yeah, that's a big
because this is very much in the vein of the Vadluas and the Springfields, a grand period home.
That prestige category, isn't it?
In that little belt on Balaclava Road, just near Orong Road, near the Melbourne Grammar School there, Gary.
Not far away from...
You didn't go to Melbourne Grammar, did you?
No, I didn't.
What a shame, Gary.
Yeah, it was a shame. I could have been so much better educated and probably would have been not a real estate agent. No, but it was it's a good school.
Yeah, anyway, enough about the school.
But all the good schools are there. I mean, you've got Caulfield Grammar, you've got Milk, and then you've got Ripley State School. I did go there.
You've also got the Gandel Beeson House version of Mount Scopus Memorial.
You've got the Yeshiva College, you've got Beth Rivka College.
Yavna's just around the corner as well.
Yavna College, you've got colleges and schools. It's a place for brainy students.
It's amazing that we've operated a business in that area,
exactly
yet
right.
we've not been able to educate ourselves so well.
But it didn't rub off on us, did it?
Didn't. 63 Balaclava, period beauty, Gary, meets family appeal. This is a grand period home, Gary. Got a swimming pool out the back. Got your choice of anywhere up to 6 bedrooms, Gary. This is a big home. 3.5 bathrooms, off-street parking for as many as 3 or maybe even 4 cars, depending on how you do it. But that is a beautiful home, Gary. That is going to the market on the 2nd of September, Gary.
It's big and bold, and in the words of Con the Fruiterer, it's a beautiful, mate, as well.
Wow.
All of those things.
Wow. It's taken us how many years to have a Con the Fruiterer reference, Gary? It's taken a while, but we got there.
It was overdue.
$2.1 to $2.31 million for that one, Gary.
You've
got to sell a lot of fruit to do that.
You sure do. It's had a significant price reduction too, by the way. Firstly, it was sort of right up there on the high too. So this has now really been priced
in the sweet spot, Gary.
Yep, for sure. Hey, tell us about this great apartment in Alma Road.
This is a big apartment, Gary. Yep. This is a huge apartment in one of Melbourne's best locations, right next to the park on Alma Road.
Love it there. It's a hot spot.
That goes to Dandenong Road.
Yeah, I love
this apartment is huge, Gary. It's a beautiful blonde brick special. It is 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space, been beautifully renovated by the current owners in a painstaking renovation. Beautifully done. Kitchens and bathrooms are delightful. But accommodation, Gary, 3 bedrooms with a separate lounge dining as well. This is as big as a house, Gary.
It's a hot spot.
8th of September, I'm looking forward to doing that.
Hey, Jim. Right next door.
Gary.
Hey, right next door, there is the milk bar on the corner.
There is,
which
Gary.
used to be called the Westbury Walkabout. I know this because I worked there for $1 an hour, sweeping, mopping, and shifting crates. By the way, that was my job.
We've got
and I've got to say, it's all been redone. That milk bar.
They've even got a little bit of.
Do you know what's going on there?
Courtyard there. It's all delightful.
What are they doing there? Do you know?
I think they've got to turn it into a nightclub, Gary. Surely
they're not going to turn a nightclub.
No
but
idea.
it looks just fantastic. So I don't know what's going on there.
So what
anybody
sort of
knows?
year are we talking when you were getting award wage at $1 an hour? Was that cash?
It was $1 an hour. It was cash.
To those people on the ATO that watch this show, Gary, you might want to just rewind the tape.
No, I
that
think
wasn't cash, was it?
I think I was in the safe bracket not to have declared it and be in trouble. I was fine because I earned,
It's not you. It's the guy who owns the place.
The guy who owned the place. You can imagine what sort of guy he was, paying me $1 an hour. And I actually ended up in hospital because I came out of my work so hot. I wasn't wearing any. I wore just like a t-shirt, and it was cold. And I got meningitis. We think it's connected to that. So Westbury Walkabout, I'm going to sue you for. I'm just going to think about loss and enjoyment of life. All those years, probably about $25 million. So don't spend too much on renovation.
Don't forget pain and suffering, Gary.
Yeah, pain and suffering. Exactly right.
And I'm just talking about me having listened to that story.
all the others, exactly.
And the other 2 people that are watching.
Anyway, yeah, it was $1 an hour.
Fascinating stuff, Gary.
I reckon everybody that starts in life with a crappy job with poor money, they understand life a lot better.
Well, that's good, Gary. Well, you can preach that to those people. Yeah. But at the moment, we're on a real estate show. We've got to talk about real estate.
You're one of those people.
I was a florist when my first job was in a florist, and I won't tell you about that. But let's just say that I got a lot of flowers, and
Philip Kingston
the ladies loved me because of those flowers.
Philip Kingston and I sold flowers at the market too.
Let's get back on track, Gary.
Wasn't good when you couldn't sell them.
We're off task here. 2 at 4A Lansdowne Road. This is a ripper, Gary.
Love it.
This is a ripper ground floor 2-bed apartment with not 1 courtyard, Gary, but 2 courtyards.
That's outstanding.
Not 1 car space, Gary,
but there's more.
But 2 car spaces.
Wow.
This one's brought to the market by Michael Jonas. I'll be doing the auction there and very happy to do it on the 8th of September at 2:30 p.m. Suggesting a price range there, Gary, of that $550 to $6 price bracket.
That sounds like
in a
good
beautiful
value.
part of town.
That sounds like good value to me. Nothing like an Art Deco home, is there, Mr. Rose?
There isn't, Gary. Tell us about it.
Well, I can't wait to tell you about this one because we're in Camden Street in Balaclava.
You might need your glasses there, Gary.
No, I don't need any glasses. Don't you
you're
worry
just
about
happy
that.
to squint without your glasses.
Camden Street, Balaclava. Look, I have a feeling that this might have been my auntie's home because she did live in Camden Street. But I'm not kidding either. In Camden Street, Balaclava, she did live there for many years. And at those days, when we're talking now about going back into the 70s, it was, a bit daggy.
Gary, we weren't talking about going back to the 70s.
Well, I am. But now
you haven't left the 70s,
No, I don't.
mate.
Why would you?
This is horrible.
Now, this is an uber cool location. Uber cool. You are on the footstep of all of the buzz and hum and excitement of Balaclava Road and all of the wonderful amenities.
Carlisle Street,
bars,
Gary.
Cafes. It's
Restaurants.
all happening around restaurants. But Camden Street, this is a great opportunity.
Los Chicas.
Love it there.
Ilona Stoller.
Love it. Seems like a very affordable property to me.
Entry level, Gary, great
990 to 1.1 up in that level. What a great opportunity! What a great buy. I live in Camden Street. A fantastic Art Deco home, Jeremy. We've got the 3 bedrooms. We've got parking, and we are in a great location. Looks like you can move in, enjoy, or further improve should you wish to do so.
Gary, what a wrap! You've done that beautifully.
Thank you.
I'm not sure the relevance of your auntie, but a shout out to your auntie.
I actually
God
think
bless
that's
her.
her house, but anyway, I'll find out.
She's a lovely lady.
She was.
Yeah.
I just visited her the other day. On Sunday.
That's good, Gary. Yeah. Before you walked the dog that night and got drenched, or
no, I visited her it wasn't the cemetery. It's probably a bit of a sad story, but that's
another story. If we could only rewind that little bit, Gary, and then start again, we probably would. But
anyway, she was very happy in Camden Street.
Good. 5 at 16 Hughenden Road, Gary.
Make sure rest in peace.
Yeah. Rest in peace. Wow, this has gone way off schedule, Gary.
Tell us about where
let's bring it back in. Yeah. This townhouse is as good as it gets, Gary. I love the photo. Look at this facade. It's absolutely gorgeous. Corner of TRA Avenue, Gary.
Yep.
A little park at the end of TRA Avenue.
Great spot.
And Hughenden Road.
Yep.
This one, Gary, is going to auction with, I'm not sure who's doing the auction, but I'm imagining it's someone fantastic on the 9th of September.
Yep.
That one is great living, great townhouse, Gary, great accommodation. 2 or 3 bedrooms, 1.5 bathrooms, and 1 off-street parking. Living over 3 levels, Gary, never got easier.
That's for sure, and never got better than right there, Jeremy. And interestingly enough...
Any of your relatives there, Gary?
No, but a good friend of mine blew up the apartment next door.
I think he blew up the corner one. Yeah, he did a good job.
He
did a good job.
He
Never
blew
does
it up.
things by half measures.
No, my friend Stephen, he did a great job there, Jeremy.
Is Stephen his real name or alias?
That is his real name.
I think we should keep it just to aliases,
Okay,
Gary.
let's call him S so no one will know. So S had a great time putting his barbecue in the boot, starting the engine, which was leaking, and actually blew up the car and the apartment
joking.
and himself. No, I'm not kidding.
This
Not
is
joking.
an educated human being?
Well, you know, he's a fine man. I don't know how educated he is, but wasn't so great about what happened there for him with his mobile barbecue. But anyway, he's okay, and the building withstood it. And you know, this is the neighbour. So if you want a good story when you buy it, you know about that one now. And he survived.
okay.
If
Yeah,
he hadn't had
he's
the
like
door
good
open,
stories
he wouldn't have. I've got stories. Don't worry, plenty of them. Let's move on to the fabulous
I
four.
want you to tell us a story, Gary, because this is for me one of the best listings coming up this month, Gary.
We're all excited about
The
this one.
Fabulous Four. Is that
is.
a book, The Fabulous Four?
No, well, it might be, but I haven't read it. If it is,
No, well,
it could be a book in some foreign country.
Have you ever read a book, Gary? I mean, I reckon
be,
the only thing you've ever read is real
Could
estate.
be a German
blurbs.
book, a Fantastisch Vier. It could be. It could be any language, actually, Jeremy, but I don't know about it. Tell us about the Fabulous Four.
Why don't you tell us about it, Gary?
Okay,
'Cause
well,
you
here
know
we
about
are.
it.
Here
You
we
love
are
it.
in one of the best possible investments you could ever buy, a block of 4 apartments with courtyards downstairs, balconies, terraces upstairs. They've all got parking. It's in a beautiful cul-de-sac right in Elwood, close to the beach, close to public transport, close to everything. And they've all been renovated. They've got 2 bathrooms each. They are outstanding.
good floor
and we're
plans
excited.
too.
Good floor plans, great apartments. You could not do better. As if you want a trophy investment property, that's it. Cyril Street. Be there at the auction
You
in a
reckon
few
if
weeks'
you
time.
bought this and just locked it away, Gary, this would be the
Gold.
safest and best investment you
It's
can
gold.
come up
That is great real estate. I would sell it to anybody who I knew and loved and liked and said, that's great real estate.
Maybe your friend from Hewenden Road who blew up his townhouse and car might want to live here.
Maybe he may well too. I can tell you now, it's a very solid building. Not even he could destroy it.
Speaking about solid building and bulletproof real estate,
Yep.
Gary, have a look at 34 Bland Street. Does real estate get any better than this?
Well, it does get more interesting than this, Jeremy, because this property in Bland Street, I've got to say, is one of the most interesting properties because
myriad of options, Gary.
Well, beautifully put. It has got a myriad of options. So firstly, you've got this fantastic masonette, which in itself is great, and I think the price guide around that 1.5, 1.6 or 1.65 probably is just
Delicate.
the right price just for that property. But then you've got all of this untapped potential. You've got plans to build 3 more apartments.
Yep.
You've got the opportunity to pull the whole thing down, maybe
start
and
again.
possibly build,
Something
4,
else.
5, whatever apartments. It's in a hot
Subject
spot.
to the council's approval,
Of
Gary.
course, it is in a hot spot. It is a fantastic opportunity, a good parcel of land. Love
In a
this
mixed-use zone, Gary, and Bland Street is a hot little pocket just
Sure
behind
is.
our office there.
It is.
Just around the corner
one.
from
And
Mr.
ain't
Wolf.
only getting hotter, that's for sure.
Gary, we've talked about some absolutely rip-snorting real estate,
We
Gary.
have,
That
you're
is
right.
not a technical term, not a
Well, it's
real
our
estate
technical
term,
term.
but it's my
Yeah,
term.
I
None
like it.
better than this, Gary, because
Here
we've
we
taken
are.
the opportunity to film in this gorgeous home at number 24 Hammerdale Avenue in the
We're having
heart
a
of St Kilda East.
Non-stop hammer time here in Hammerdale Avenue, Jeremy. We've got the park at the end of the
gold,
street.
Gary.
Park
That
at
is
the
gold.
Champagne Comedy. We've got the park at the end of the street. We've got this fantastic looking property sitting here looking at all these beautiful period features. Why don't you just take us on a tour of this
Well, I want
property?
to say the first thing, Gary, is it's warm.
It is.
It's warm because we've got the heating on.
Yeah.
I'm also wanting to tell
Pumping
the
that
viewers
Vulcan heat.
that
Pumping.
when you stand at the front of this home, it is absolutely gorgeous. A beautiful
Timeless.
clinker brick home.
Yes.
That in terms of floor plans, Gary, is absolutely perfect. You've got a separate lounge, separate dining. You've got a separate kitchen. Then you've got a second level all the way upstairs to the bedrooms. And you've got your choice of not 1, not 2, but 3 bedrooms, Gary, and a central bathroom. There's outdoor space. There's car parks. There's everything that you need, Gary. You've got an adjoining wall with next door. So it's like what we would describe as a duplex pair, Gary. A maisonette.
Yep.
You know what a maisonette is?
I know. I'm sitting in one
Well,
right
tell
now.
the viewers what a maisonette
Well,
is.
it's when there's a property with 2, not necessarily one above the other or one next to the other. It can be. It
Well, a
could be either way.
maisonette, Gary, refers to 2 levels,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken.
You're
Maybe
right.
it may even be French for 2 levels.
It could well
But
be.
probably not.
Let's find out. Let's have a look.
Let's
little
Google
look
it,
and
Gary.
see. Masonette. Anyway, we are in a wonderful property in a great location. Very excited about this one, and I know that all of our team are very happy
Do you think
to be involved.
who's doing the? Are you doing the auction? I'm not sure who's doing the auction there, but I think I think Philip's doing it. Should we get Philip to start by saying just before he's about to put on the market to say, "Ladies and gentlemen, we're on the market. It's hammer time,"
Non-stop hammer
and
time.
then have
That's
some
it.
Have MC Hammer.
Yeah,
whoa,
sure.
whoa! Do you remember that? Could you do that
Of course
dance?
I remember. No, I can't do it.
Do you
very
still
well.
own a pair
I know
of
the
MC
moves.
Hammer pants? Those big puffy
No,
pants?
but something scarily tells me you do, because that was your era,
Absolutely,
not mine.
I do.
I did go and see MC Hammer, by the way, in concert, believe it or not. I'm not kidding. And I went with a friend, and there was a little kid, and they got up and started going, yeah, no, September night. And my friend goes, wow. And then the kid got embarrassed and sat down, and that was it. Ruined the night.
Can you just what did your friend do?
He went, wow, wow, and the kids then got very self-conscious.
I can't wait to see the replay of this show of you going, wow. I mean, that was a great story, Gary. Fascinating stuff.
I got more.
You
like
got
the Bible.
bag loads
stories, one after the other. Fascinating.
Well, it's not a biblical location, Hughenden Road, Gary, but I reckon if
it's holy real estate.
he was around, that's where they'd want to live.
It's a blessed location.
As good as they get.
It's blessed. And look at this property. What a
Urban
great
edge, Gary, sophisticated style. This is a big flat. There's a big apartment, 550 to 6. I'm excited about this on the 15th of September, Gary, because my good friend Daniel McMucker and I are going down there, 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 1 car, in a renovated condition, Gary. This is beautiful real estate.
Looking forward to bringing that one to the market, as we are with all those other properties reviewed. Many of them are coming up, and it's just the tip on the iceberg for the spring season. Although, if you, don't wait. If you see something you like, just jump on it, because you never know. It might not be as plentiful as we'd like it to be. In fact, stock levels are down from this time last year.
It is an exciting time, spring, in Melbourne, because you've got things like the footy finals, which you and I probably... It came as a bit of a surprise to me that they actually play football in September. I was unaware of that.
Yeah, we haven't had much involvement for a while, have we, with the mighty Blue Boys?
Well, we can get
team that never lets you down.
Yeah, never lets anything
anyway,
down.
Let's just move along.
Having trouble keeping my son occupied as a supporter.
Well, I've got a WhatsApp group that Carlton and we'll talk about second team now. Who else we're going to barrack for? Because
I think you've got to get on someone like a Sydney or a Melbourne. It's funny, there are certain teams I don't like because of the supporters.
I love the Tigers.
And I don't like Melbourne. And if he's watching, he'll know exactly who I'm talking about.
I started out in life barracking for the Tigers.
I started out as a Hawthorn supporter.
Is that right? There you go.
It took me 3 years to get away from the brown and gold.
So I'm back to the yellow and black as my second team. Soon to be my first baby. But anyway, Gary, you can't leave. You can't change
Stick
teams.
fat, Gary. You've got to stick fat.
Stick what?
Stick fat. It's a football expression to stay with your
Stay
team
firm.
through thick and thin. Talking about spring, there's a big music, not a big music, but a good music festival happening in St Kilda, Gary, called the Listen Out Festival. It is one of Australia's premier dance music events. And I reckon, based on your,
I didn't know about it.
I know that you like to move both of your left feet on the dance floor. Oh, yeah. And I know your son's a little bit...
he's out there.
He doesn't mind getting the...
He likes the music.
He's a DJ.
Likes his music. Yeah, he's a DJ. He likes it. That's true. But tell us a bit about this.
Well,
where is it?
Catani Gardens.
Catani Gardens.
Where else would you want to have a dance party in the Catani Gardens on the 22nd of September? I would say, though, Gary, you want to rug up because you just don't know what's going to happen on the 22nd of September, weather-wise, given that it is Melbourne.
Nice to have a local event featured, and we'll always do that in the show, won't we, Jeremy?
I'll tell you what we need to do, Gary. We need to get out and about a little bit more in this show. Instead of just coming to beautiful homes and we need to go to, places of interest.
Exactly right.
Cafes, restaurants, nightclubs.
Yeah. It's pretty happening, isn't there?
It's a lot.
There's never an end to it.
Never a dull moment either.
You've got your farmers market and
farmers market.
It's on this weekend. Yeah,
of course it's on. You're going to get your orange juice down there, Gary, with all the pulp.
And we've got the Gatwick on the block now. We're having a year off. It doesn't matter. We haven't talked about it. We've got the year off on the block. We're not watching it.
There was a bit of a reference to the block with me on it. It's amazing. I'm not on the block this year. We've decided to take a bit of a sabbatical.
I reckon your little... Your little cameo on the block will be probably the most of any agent, just about. Anyway, you did go down.
That's controversial.
You did go down and pass your opinion. That was fine, but so much for the block. But then, of course, the block has got the other property it's bought now as well, which is the
Oslo Hotel.
Yeah, so that's also interesting. So all these things are happening in and around St Kilda. What a great place to be, and what a great time to be here. That's for sure. Well, that's a big wrap, I think, on the St Kilda and Bayside.
Some great stories from you, Gary, about your aunties.
Happy to share that with you, Jeremy, and the viewers. Both viewers, happy to share it with you both. That's a big wrap on the St Kilda Bayside Report. We'll be back next month. At the end of September, start of October, to talk about the feel and vibe of what's happening through spring as we move into the
we may have a new
fun, busy season.
Premiere of the football, whatever it's called, season. There might be a new someone holding up the cup.
Oh, a new premiership team, yes. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, by then we'll have a new government, probably.
We'll have a new Prime Minister. Exactly right. Who would know? Anyway.
And who would care, Gary?
One thing you do know is we're going to always be rapping on about something's happening in real estate on this show. We will see you next time. I'm Gary Peer.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
See you, Jeremy, and all.